Hi. This stream, like I kind of mentioned, is the kind of introduction about what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to brew a nice ale. And yeah, I want to kind of, first of all, announce it, that it's tomorrow at around 2 p.m. The whole thing is going to be scheduled, so it's going to be easier to follow. It's going to take more or less 4 hours, so we'll see about how long exactly. But yeah, so I want to go through kind of the basics that is going to be necessary for tomorrow, and yeah, and honestly, kind of see if the whole setup here works with It's supposed to be streamed at the same time to YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Hopefully, all of this works. Honestly, being kind of one-man band here is hard to record and test at the same time. So yes, the beer. Let me actually fetch the recipe. So yeah, here I have the recipe. The beer is called the Athletic Breakfast. Unfortunately, the recipe isn't actually mine. It's made by Natasha Vine from Brew. Brew is kind of like a co-working, but for making beers. It's located in Bermondsey in London, and yeah, a place that me and two of my friends were members for a while, and yeah, we're able to get the recipe for this beer, which is amazing, I must admit. And yeah, so basically, I guess there's going to be different levels of understanding about how beer is being made, but first of all, we need some malts. Basically the grains that actually form the body of the beer. We're gonna need some hops that gives it the bitterness. Hops are actually in the fridge. I'm gonna just take them out. We're gonna need water, of course, and we're gonna need yeast, also in the fridge. They should not be stored at room temperature. So yeah, then we kind of have some additions. This beer actually calls for grapefruit. Out of this grapefruit, I'm going to use the peel of it and the juice. The pulp isn't actually very useful, so the sweetness is going to come from the fruit, and also the bitterness is going to be more citrusy. Also, the hops are being used are hops called Cascade, which also have kind of a bit of a citrusy profile there. Also, no, this is not any kind of drug. This is just lactose, actually. This is regular lactose. What it does to a beer, it makes it kind of more smooth. Makes it basically, if you can imagine, like a milkshake, it kind of gives it this nice polished taste. And the kind of additional thing here, those pills, again, also not drugs. This is something called Irish moss. It's not actually a moss. It's a type of a thingy that is in a sea. Anyways, what it does, basically, if you want to have your beer very clear, adding the Irish moss, what it will do, it will get the proteins which are kind of bigger and are the things that are floating in your beer, making it hazy. Is basically clump them together and make them heavier, and then they're going to go down the fermenter, so your beer is going to be clear. So yeah, those are the kind of additions that are going to be used for that specific beer. This is just a version mojito for me. But yeah, and yeah. So with that, the biggest thing, like the beginning of the whole thing, tomorrow is going to be grinding the malts. Previously, well, not grinding, milling, but basically, generally when you get your malts, usually you can get them milled, like pre-milled, or like in my case, you can get them in kind of whole pieces. And the problem with that is that if you would try to boil that, and what we want to do is extract what is inside. So if it's hidden in this shell, you won't extract anything, so you're not going to have much of a beer. So what you want to do is basically crush it to the point where you can actually get inside. But you don't want to. You don't basically want to make flour out of it, because then the whole beer is going to be kind of starchy. So you cannot use like a blender or something to make it into a powder. So you kind of have to be somewhere in the middle. And mostly when you order your malts, you just can order ones that are already milled. That's usually the easiest thing. Sometimes you can't, like it was my case, or you just forget to click the thingy when you order. But then you have to mill them before you brew. So in my case, last time when we were doing with a couple of friends, I didn't have this, and I had to figure out a different way to do it. So kind of went old school and got this, the kind of a mortar, so you can you do it manually, and that was not a good idea. That was we had 4 people. We spent I think like 2 hours trying to kind of grind 1 kilo of malts, which is like 2.5 pounds. It wasn't like properly grounded, and we were very tired and just spent most of our time just doing that. So if you're thinking about that, I strongly I do not recommend that. What I do recommend is basically getting a mill like this one. And the thing is, like this was I believe 30 euros, so it's not like huge amount of money. By the way, when you order it milled, in most cases it doesn't increase the price. So if you have the possibility to just keep ordering stuff that's already milled, you don't even have to buy this. So that is kind of a money saver. It kind of looks like a meat grinder, and it does share the kind of the basic ingredients there, but it is different. You cannot use a meat grinder to do the same thing. That's also very important. So yeah, I will have to basically assemble that and mill it tomorrow. But yeah, those are kind of the basics that I wanted to go through the setup. So again, I can check if there are any questions. Do not see very much like any questions here. But if you have any, please send them to me, and I will try to help and or answer as much as I can. And yeah, I really invite you to join me tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central European time. So for US folks, it might be kind of early in the morning. But hey, if not, it's going to be recorded. You can always watch it later. But it would be nice to be live, because then I can actually answer your questions if you have any. But yeah, that's all what I had for now, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.